Good morning, learners. We are having a editorial session today, and the topic is about the Rohingya Muslims and Rohingya refugees and the amount of havoc it has been creating all over the part of the world. Okay, so before having this, we are having the thought of the day of today. Let's have a thought. The thought is you have to grow from the inside out. None can teach you, none can make you spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own soul. That's something very deep, and we have to learn from this story. If someone is having doubt about this, then he or she can ask me later on. Let's have a talk now. Let's have a topic. The topic is too good to be true. This topic is all about, as I said earlier, about Rohingya refugees. So it is specifically talking about the accommodation of Rohingya and how they entered into the India. So the author is saying accommodating India should lead to the plan to better the lives of the Rohingya until they return home. Actually, their return home is the author is didn't say it here, but I'm telling you the home here it is Myanmar. These all refugees have came from Myanmar. I would tell you the full story about how they inside to the India and Bangladesh. Let's have a topic. We are moving to the first paragraph. Yeah. So recently, the announcement of social media by Urban Development Minister Hardeep Puri of the Modi government's decision to house about 1,100 Rohingya migrants now living in makeshift slums in flats with amenities instead proved too good to be true. Actually, what recently happened, the development minister of Mr. Narendra Modi government, Hardeep Puri, he just came to the Twitter and tweeted about it that they're gonna pave the way of a home to 1,100 Rohingya migrants now, which are particularly living already in Delhi, but they are living like on the corridors of borders. They are like making their own tents and living out there. So what the police said that there is a place in South Delhi. We're gonna make a particular flat type of system for them, so that we're gonna give them health facilities, medical facilities, and also good infrastructure and also police protection. Now let's move to the next paragraph. Within hours, Mr. Puri actually, it's not that much. Within hours, Mr. Puri was filtered by the Home Minister office, which denied any such intention, instead terming them illegal foreigners. It said was to keep sequestered in the present homes, which would be designated as detention centers, while the government continued efforts to port them to Myanmar. Actually, what recently happened? Let me tell you. When this tweet came over, okay, this is not something that somebody is on the ministry position and he or she can say whatever they want to say. Things don't work like this. Okay. So what Hardeep Singh Puri did now? Hardeep Singh Puri had already been, have some suggestions from Mr. Narendra Modi. But as he said that they're gonna settle down all the all the immigrants into Delhi. So what he did, he just to the governor, okay, and he take his permission only because Delhi is a union territory, okay. So he didn't ask even a single word to the CM, that is Arvind Kejriwal. So that's why the author is saying that after within hours, Mr. Puri was counted by Home Minister's office, because what actually happened, there was a havoc being created inside the BJP as well. Because on the one front, BJP said that these are illegal immigrants and we should not support them because they are Muslims or something like that. That some governments want to create the vote bank from them and they are illegal, they don't have good documents. But on the contrary, Mr. Puri had tweeted about it. So that's why there has havoc. What's happening? How can be on the two pages at the same time? So that's why after some hours of that tweet, Mr. Puri has deleted some of the tweets, and he said, and he got a U-turn over this. Now let's move to the next paragraph, please. The announcement itself was puzzling. Mr. Puri is a senior minister and experienced diplomat as well, and his statement was unequivocal. Not only did he say that the plan was to move the migrants from the squalor to apartment built for the economically weaker sections on the outskirts of Delhi, but that they would also be provided facilities and protection by the Delhi police. Proof of how India had always welcomed refugees. So actually, the author is saying that the announcement was completely puzzling. It has already been created a lot of havoc. Mr. Puri is a senior minister and he has worked as a diplomat as well, so he's much educated about the things. And India have a history of welcoming the migrants. So the author is saying that after giving uh, that much things in the past, the BJP already said that various times in the United Nations as well. There was a meeting where Mr. Modi has said that these type of immigrants is not welcome in our country, and we would throw them back to their home country, it is Myanmar. Okay. So after the thing that creating havoc is they already entered India. They are living in Delhi, they are living in West Bengal, they are living in Assam, they are living in I think Bihar, and even in East they are living. Okay, but the thing is, when Mr. Puri say that we gonna give them the economic weaker section criteria, that means now they are becoming citizens, not directly, not on a papers, but they are getting as much facilities as the citizen of India is getting. Okay, so that has been creating a havoc, and recently, Manish Sisodia had commented over this, and he said that when government is not having the enough money to feed the poor of their own country, how they can build the flat for those illegal migrants. Okay, so this is a proof of how India had always welcomed the refugees, whether it is a Congress, INC, or whether it is a NDA. Both are working on the same page. Let's move to the next paragraph, please. The details Mr. Puri shared, as well as documents from 2021, showed that the government had indeed been considering moving Rohingya, who live on land donated by an Islamic charity, after their previous homes were burned down. There has been some suggestion that the ruling party backlash from its supporter, including a stern press statement from the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. And it would be unfortunate if that was the principle behind what appears to be a reversal of policy. So what Mr. Puri did, he tweeted, I think, 5 to 6 tweet. Okay. And where he had also mentioned the document that should be from 2021. It showed the government, the author is saying ki how the government is, on the page of moving those refugees to the capital. And the problem, the problem of the government of Union Territory, Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal was thinking that these are illegal peoples and these can prove to be fatal to the security of the Union Territory, security of the Delhi, ultimately to the security of the India as well. Okay, so these Rohingyas actually what happened when they entered inside the country. So they are not like something ki they are very small in numbers. They are in lakhs. Okay, so there was a nationwide Islamic charity was going on there. After getting that much amount of money, they were living on the basis of Islamic charity. Okay, they were making their tents, they were getting foods, they were getting some sort of facilities, but they're not backed from government side. They are backed up from this charity sort of things. Okay, so after this announcement has been happened, lots of ministers of BJP has been backlashed by their supporters. They were saying ki your main agenda was something ki, first you say these sort of things that these are illegal. Now you are giving them the procedures of how you can live over there. So which Hindu pressure is something ki, part of BJP, a left hand of BJP, I can say, in UP especially. So they are very, very much angry from this decision of the government. So let's see whether there would be a reversal of policy or not. Let's move to the next paragraph. broader terms, the Rohingya housing issue seems to be an example of the clash between the Modi government's foreign policy commitments and its domestic politics. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Actually, what happened now? Every nation who is the part of the UN got financial support from the United Nations all over the year. Okay, every nation who is developing or underdeveloped, the developed nation don't get these kind of supports. Okay, they do some charity, they do more charity. But what they do, these sort of things have particular condition that if my country, India, is getting the support, getting the amount of money on the name of COVID, then we also have to implicate their conditions as well. Nothing come free. Okay. So what actually happened is there is a convention called as UN Convention, in which there is a part of the UN, there is body of the UN who actually works for the immigrants. Immigrants are those migrating people are those people, they, they keep migrating. They don't have a specific place because their country is not supporting them. I would tell you how this condition gonna had happened in the past, why Rohingyas become immigrants of different nations. So yeah, during this UN convention, India have decided that every nation who is the part of the UN have to take some immigrants into their nation. Okay. Even in Mexico, there was 1 lakh immigrants had been entered. Okay, so every nation have to take that. So what the author is saying in this paragraph is something very deep. He is saying that Mr. Modi is facing the clash because his domestic policy is something else. But now, as he's seated up on the seat of the PM, Prime Minister as a PM, so he have to, he's also responsible to the United Nations as well. So every time you can't delay the decision. So that's why this decision has been taken up. Although, as Mr. Puri tweeted, India respected and followed the 1951 UN Convention of Refugees. It was the convention I was talking about. It is not a signatory. Mr. Modi's colleagues such as Home Minister Amit Shah have frequently disregarded the convention, referring to migrants as termites, stating in Parliament that India would never accept the Rohingya and even violating the UN principle of non-refoulement by deporting a Rohingya woman to Myanmar this year. What actually happened in this UN convention was 1951. It has been signed by all over the countries who are the part of UN, as I told you earlier. But what Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah did, that they start making them exit from the India earlier. Like I think it was the case of before COVID, 2019, before 2019. It was case. What actually happened is there was a speech of Mr. Modi where he mentioned the word termites. Termites are something that they would enter inside the country and they would kill the I can say that they would disturb the peace over there. Okay, but now they have to follow the convention. They don't have any option of that thing. And even following the UN principle, violating the UN principle of non-refoulement, they also deport a Rohingya woman to Myanmar this year. Okay, which created the havoc for the government too. UN has given some deep statement over there. Let's move next paragraph, please. The treatment of Rohingya who fled to India in 2012 and 2017 after state-sponsored ethnic cleansing has also been far from the government's much-touted slogan of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The author is saying that we always have a logo of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. If some guest is coming over there at our place, we have to welcome them. So this doesn't always stand against this slogan as well. In 2012 to 2017, he's talking about, because this was the time when Mr. Modi was saying that we would not accept these sort of things. But from 2018, to be very honest with you guys, from 2018, government had taken a lot of back decisions. Okay, they are not on the same page. Let's move to the next paragraph. Rohingya have been driven out of homes in Rajasthan and Haryana, stigmatized by local authorities and intelligence agencies who accuse them of criminal and even terrorist intent. New Delhi has also failed thus far to play its role as a regional leader in convincing Myanmar to provide its citizens homes and assurances of safety, or in brokering dialogue between Dhaka and Naypyidaw to ensure their return. About 1 million Rohingya live in Bangladesh and an estimated 40,000 in India. it is just an estimated. The actual number is far beyond the limit. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia house about 7 lakh between them. So the author is saying that they firstly there is a place in Bangladesh. Okay, remember this place. There is a place called as Cox's Bazar. What they did, they entered into the Cox's Bazar. After that, they entered into the West Bengal. From West Bengal, they flew like they flew like a mosquitoes, and they start moving where they want to be. They had entered into the Rajasthan, Haryana as well, but eventually, what happened? The local individuals, they are very discriminated. You can discriminate them easily. Okay, so what the locals did, they put them out from their territories. So the author is saying that even the state like New Delhi, they can start talking to center to put a immense pressure on the Myanmar. They failed. Even Bangladesh is crying right now. Okay, even Bangladesh PM has put a statement that we would not accept anybody from now, and we gonna make them return. We don't know where they go, where they don't, but we don't welcome them. So the thing is, the actual amount the author is telling about that Rohingya living in Bangladesh is about a million Rohingya, and in India it is 40,000. But the actual data released by Bangladesh is something like I think 1.5 million, and in India the actual data is 3 to 4 lakh Rohingya is estimated. Let's move to the next page. Yes, let's move to the next paragraph, please. In the absence of long-term measures to resolve the issue, the government could at least, as Mr. Puri suggested, provide the helpless community better living conditions until their future is secured. Actually, this statement, I'm telling you, this statement has been come under the United Nations pressure. The government has got funded about them. Okay, there was a fund that has been issued, I think $940 million. Yeah, it's a huge amount to Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia from the United Nations. That at least until this issue get resolved, provide them some basic conditions so that they can live over there. After once the issue would be resolved, they would enter the Myanmar. Their original territory is Myanmar. So that what Mr. Puri has said, that we are providing the helpless community better living condition, and that's it. Let's move to the next paragraph. Until their future is secured, until the issue got resolved. Okay, before getting to the tone of editorial, okay, let me tell you something from my side. The story of Rohingya is, okay, it's so complicated, but let me tell you it's very clear way. Actually, what eventually happened now, during the World War II, there was two communities living in the Myanmar, and Myanmar was not named by Myanmar; it was the region of Burma. Okay, so what actually happened is, at that time, Britishers were there in India too. So what they say to Burma region, ki they offered Rohingya Muslim, and they make a deal with Britishers. Okay, British say that dear Rohingyas, fight for us, and in return, we would make this region of Burma as a Muslim region, as a Muslim power region. Okay. But in Burma, there were two communities were living at that time. There was a Buddhist community and there was a Rohingya Muslim community was living there. So they eventually shake their hands with the Britishers and came into the tone of them. Okay. But what happened after the World War has been settled up, and in 1948 got independence from it, the new developed country refused to say that Rohingya. They say they were Buddhists, so they say that these Rohingya Muslim is not our citizens. They don't have any short papers. Let them throw them out. So what eventually happened is the military crackdown on Rohingya civilians by Myanmar government. Okay, they attacked the Rohingya Muslims, and I think approximately 10 to 20,000 people had been dead. There was a woman, children, everything. Everyone was there. Every gender was there. They saw nothing. They just start killing them. So what they did, they just, as I said earlier, 7,45,000 is the huge amount. These were the people who entered into the Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. Okay, and from this Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, they entered into the India. Via India, they entered into the Saudi Arabia, and from this place, they entered into the Pakistan as well. Right now, these are the four nations where Rohingya, population is so much high. Okay, so uh, all of the countries which are facing the difficulty because of them, they are in the regular talks with the UN. And even I was studying day before yesterday, Bangladesh had demanded a fund. Ki, give us a fund, otherwise we're gonna throw them out into the oceans. Okay, that was their statement. So these, so what UN said is, UN said that Rohingya is facing the systematic discrimination, statelessness, targeted violence in Myanmar, and we are in talks with Myanmar government, and we would handle this thing. But this thing is not sorted out. You know. So what government is doing right now, the government of Bangladesh and India mainly, they just want to accept them as citizens. Okay, they don't have any options left. Okay. Anyone want to talk about tone of editorial? Share your views about tone of editorial. Please, anyone, go ahead.
So, critical because author is trying to criticize the government. Yeah, also not informative, critical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's critical. Yeah, good. Anybody else? Okay, let me tell you. Tone of editorial is something that author is not giving that much information about who is Rohingyas and why they are moving, what problem they are facing. Okay, but the I think the main aim of the author was to make it clear the hypocrisy of the government and the way the government is changing. So that was the tone of the editorial for me. Anyone have any doubt related to Burma, related to Bangladesh, related to Rohingya? He or she can ask me.
Can you please give me a short summary about editorial?
Okay, the short summary is, see, the should I tell you about how Rohingya like this and why they are moving?
Yes, sure. If you have to.
Okay, so the thing is, I'm repeating it again. During World War II, the Britishers promised the Rohingya that support us, we're gonna support you. Okay, we would end these another religions from out there, and there would be a rule, and this would be, this state would be known by the name called as Myanmar, and you would be the rulers. Okay, but actually, what happened to the community called as Buddhism after getting the independence in 1948? These people become a lot of liberals on them, make their armies and attack the Rohingya. So what Rohingya did? Rohingya just start fleeing out from that portion of the Myanmar, and they entered into the various regions. Firstly, 7,45,000 Rohingya get entered into the Cox's region of Bangladesh, and after entering out there, they flew to various different countries. So what eventually happened is, this is not the thing that this is happening in the 2000 or 2012, but this is recently happening from last, I think, 2003 to 2004. This is happening. Okay, so in 2014, 2016, 2017, the number of Rohingya Muslim entering into the India is immensely high.
Hello.
So Narendra Modi government was saying, in 2016, that we don't want to accept them. Okay, and they are like the termites. They would kill the society. They are not peaceful. That's it. They don't have any sort of papers. They are. So, but now recently, what happened according to editorial is, Puri Puri sir, what Puri sir said, he just came to the Twitter and tweeted, we're gonna accept them. We're gonna give them the criteria of EWS, economic weaker sections, and under this, we're gonna give them the facilities. So what author want to convey the message is, the author want to convey that the hypocrisy of the government is, now the government is standing between, they have to choose one. Either they have to choose their domestic appliances, or what's their mentality, what's their ideology since they come into the power in 2014, or they have to work according to you. So the author is, and in the end paragraph, just with a message that, let's see, as there is a havoc within the BJP as well. Leaders are not that much happy after this decision. So let's see that this decision gonna take the U-turn or not. That's the end of the topic. Any doubt you guys have?
It's fine for me. It's completely understandable, and I got everything.
Okay, so let's end the topic.